Greetings and welcome to this week's live interview on Space Watchers channel. Today we have a special guest that is going to talk everything about Nebula Aerospace. This is an aerospace company in aerospace community. Here's their CEO, Sorbonical. How are you doing today?
Hello, thank you for.
Yeah, so we're going to be answering, or you'll be answering some questions that we're going to be asking you. Today's first question for Nebula is, how was the architecture of your pad that supports Gamma designed to make Gamma safe when taking off?
The architecture of LC-1, which supports Gamma and even heavier rockets, believe it or not, was heavily inspired by Kennedy Space Center's Launch Complex 39A. This inspiration was actually taken mostly because their design worked. I've seen many hefty orbital-class rockets launched from the pad, and that includes the Saturn V, Space Shuttle, SpaceX's Falcon 9, and the Falcon Heavy. We recreated this design with our own modifications to help support Gamma on this pad. But unlike SpaceX, we use mobile launch platforms with strong backs, so the pad is actually flexible instead of having a concrete design. Having a flexible pad is very key because we are introducing new designs and new rockets as we progress as a company.
That's great. So when you were designing Gamma, were there any modifications that were major to the design of Gamma when you were designing it?
Yeah. When we were designing Gamma, actually, there were modifications that were major to the design of the rocket itself, and those design modifications were major influences to the company's upcoming rockets as well. These modifications, not all of them can really be mentioned because pretty classified, but we were planning on having a full engine skirt, 6 fins, the standard 4 on top that we currently have, and 2 towards the bottom, which is somewhat like New Glen's booster.
That's great. When you were also designing Gamma, did you ever make it a variation so that it's expendable like the Falcon 9 for heavier payloads or for big missions that need way more boost to orbit?
When we were designing Gamma, we did make room for alternate variations, most notable of which was the expendable version. But we also have other types of boosters which do launch heavier class payloads. These are called Gamma Titans, and they have higher engine capability and much more power. These I'm actually gonna discuss this later on Twitter, but for human rated missions, regular Gamma boosters are human rated, right? Gamma Titan boosters are a lot more powerful and are definitely not human rated, and are used to launch very heavy payloads like the 2 past missions that we actually launched. So.
All right. When you were also making Gamma, did you ever make it so it could support crew and or cargo launches from the start?
From the start, we did plan to have payload launches. Gamma would become the key contributor to our income, so we needed payload launches, and we made Gamma human rated for increased flexibility for anything in the future. And it turns out, yeah, it really was a great idea. Um, we do have some boosters, which actually launched on previous two missions called Gamma Titans, which I just mentioned. Uh, and yeah, they're not human rated, and they are used to launch heavy payloads on more needy missions. So
All right. How long did it take for the development of Gamma take place to build the launch complex and the vehicle itself for the first ever launch?
Huh. The complex took nearly 8 years to build. We acquired the land back in 2013 and laid out a plan as to what we needed on property and what to keep off property. Today, almost everything we need is on the property besides engine production, segment production, and our current HQ. Although we are looking to move that to the property. Gamma was a concept for a long time. We took out test tanks, test boosters, upper stages and concept fairings for a while. I can't be so sure as to when we actually finished with Gamma, although I can assure you it was probably around late January.
All right. And speaking of also development, how is the beta and alpha progress coming for the prototype phases? Are they close to being proven flight ready yet?
Um, Beta and Alpha have both been pretty stationary currently, as we've been focusing on Gamma's technology for the past couple of months. We can't always be losing boosters, and these boosters cost money. So um, once we start making Gamma's technology a lot more reliable, expect us to begin rolling out beta and alpha prototypes to the test stands. Just because we'd have extra money and then we can invest that into other prototypes. So
That's great. How are the suits made for the upcoming crew missions?
well, the suits are currently being modified and tested in design. Although it is similar to the space shuttle suits in design because they work. We've actually modernized it more, increased leg room, rotations, and all like more freedom in design and flexibility. That's what we've really been going for with a lot of our designs, as you probably heard earlier in this interview. There's not really much I can say about this, as it's mostly pretty private, and it's still an undergoing change. It changes it changes all the time. So we are more than likely to release details soon about this, although.
All right. When you roll out the Gamma rocket, how long does it take from getting the integration facility all the way to the pad?
Rolling out Gamma can take upwards of an hour and a half to get from the integration facility to the shoreline. Although we have had faster rollouts, we tested the crawler at multiple speeds, overclocking the speeds. To us, it doesn't really matter how long Gamma can roll out, as long as if it gets to the pad before its launch window.
That's a vital fact right there. Uh, have there already been any major failures in the Nebula history?
Uh, I don't know if I would consider this a major failure, but we've had we've have had several booster failures on both Titan boosters and regular boosters. These weren't exactly impacting us severely, although losing boosters means our missions are more expensive.
And how reliable is the Gamma and upcoming designs of rockets?
Gamma is very reliable. We've had no mission failures and deployed every payload into its designated orbit successfully. Recovery isn't the most reliable currently, but obviously that comes with risking it and just getting these things up and reused. And sorry about that. I just took off. Sorry. Um, but we are working out the problems, and hopefully this will actually change. The upcoming designs for both beta and alpha are made, of course, with reliability in mind. Um, Beta is fully reusable, alpha being reusable as well. Uh, but they can't really be sorry, alpha can't really be reused as much as gamma. So, upcoming designs with reliability, they're all different, but they're pretty reliable. So,
All right. Um, how often can a gamma rocket fly until it needs major refurbishment?
uh, under predictions, because we haven't actually made it up this far yet, but under predictions, a gamma booster can fly about 8 to 11 times without needing any major refurbishments.
Okay. And then, are there any thoughts of making gamma fully reusable with the fairing second stage and first stage?
Uh, there were actually thoughts of this, making it fully reusable. We are going to be reusing the fairings at some point, but most of the ideas of making gamma fully reusable were transitioned to beta, which is actually what made beta. This is why beta is this design, because all the ideas we had on gamma, we transitioned to that rocket. So, uh, at some point, it's going to be pretty much again. It's pretty going to be pretty much gamma's level in launches, which is it could be out launching gamma, and but I don't really see this happening for the next year or so. But we are going to see some fully reusable rockets, and it's going to be some pretty cool stuff.
All right. Do you mind talking about the history and the goals with gamma?
Sure.
All right. So, when starting with gamma, how was the design evolving to make it better? Like, were there any prototypes that made it like less weight reduced or heavier or whatever?
Um, so during the prototyping phase, we've had some realizations, and it's trial and error. So we have had a lot of serious changes in design and just a lot of things, right? So we've had, I think, full scale boosters. We've had two of them fail, one of them land. These two that failed, we've completely had the system redone, new designs, rate reduction, engines pretty much stayed the same, although we did do engine static fire tests and a lot of that shenanigans, and it did change the designs quite a bit. Um, we had a really major design change after the after booster number three's flight. So that we had a major design change to the current design that we have today, and we've had a lot of influence from all these flights.
All right. Um, what were your main goals with gamma?
My main goals with Gamma. Um, my main goal right now, actually, I have multiple goals, but my main goal is to make it reliable, very reliable. To make it so that if someone wants to launch their payload to space, they will have their payload launched to space without having to have to worry as much as other launch vehicles are. And I'd like to be able to speed up this amount of I like to be able to speed up the launch cadence and even make it so much reliable that we could roll out the pad and within the next day or two we could have this thing launch, right?
Yeah. Do you even plan going out of low Earth orbit and Earth orbit in general to other planets or interplanetary?
Um, we do. We do with Beta. We do plan to go interplanetary, launch payloads to Mars and beyond. Uh, it's it's kind of debatable with Gamma. I don't think we need probably a kick stage and all that, but it's I don't know, it's pretty debatable. I don't exactly know. We haven't really discussed many plans to go that far yet. We've been really focusing on Gamma's program, although Beta is being discussed quite a lot, and we do have people working on it. But uh, going interplanetary, I'm not so sure. Well, it's definitely a goal that we're gonna end up going to at some point, but Not sure when.
What was the fastest turnaround time for just a gamma first stage?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
What was the fastest turnaround time for the first stage of gamma?
Well, we've had only one reuse, since we've had quite a few failures. Although that's probably gonna change within the next probably actually 2 weeks from now. Um, the fastest turnaround time I'm pretty sure was around 20 days, which is pretty unrealistic considering standards, but we threw right back up on the launch mount. Didn't really do too well, but we was trying to experiment with the reliability with the booster, and it didn't really work out too well because we had a pretty colossal failure.
Yeah, failures do happen with prototype vehicles and flying for the first time. Do you think Gamma will ever reach the International Space Station with crew or possibly cargo?
Uh, I think it's definitely a possibility, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Although because we are making our own commercial station currently, we have we have our first module actually sent up. It's orbiting right now. We are gonna be sending up crew on the second orbital flight test to the station. They're gonna be there for I think maybe a day or two, come back down, splash down in the ocean. Um, depending on if we actually need to send astronauts up to the International Space Station, we can and we probably will. But we're focusing on the our own commercial station right now.
That's perfect. What is your next upcoming event here at Nebula?
Our next upcoming event here at Nebula is actually a rollout. So we're gonna currently we have booster B1008. So the eighth booster is actually gonna be rolling out to the pad at some point with actually okay. Booster B1008 because I'm not really immersed into the production site right now, but they're gonna move it into high bay. We're gonna get the second stage stacked or integrated, and we'll then roll out Gamma to the pad, and that's gonna be on Wednesday of next week, towards the end of the day, and we'll see. Oh, sorry about that.
And so we have a technical issue with the camera as it looks like it's cutting off a side of the camera right now. Hopefully we can get that resolved in the next time, or in the time coming. But this is a great time just to say a couple reminders. Tomorrow is SN 7.2 pressure testing with SpaceX. We will probably be streaming that on Space Watchers. There's really nothing else going on in the road space community right now, but that is the only upcoming thing that we will see within the next day or two. And it has been stacked onto its stand by one of the SpaceX cranes at Boca Chica. We will be putting you onto a different screen for a few seconds as we resolve this technical issue. All right, we are back. We finally fixed that camera issue. Just a technical issue that was pretty easy to fix. What were we on the last time about? We were on the rollout, right?
Yeah, I was just finishing that up. So after we get the second stage stacked and we integrate it and we do all of our checkouts, we're gonna bring Gamma to the pad. So we're gonna roll it out on Wednesday, next Wednesday, and we should expect to see a launch actually that weekend. So next weekend we should see a launch. I think I can't remember, but July 3rd we're launching. So um that's 2 weekends from now. I'm blanking. Sorry guys. But we should see a launch coming up fairly soon with our next mission, and rollout is on Wednesday, so that's our next event.
That's great. Getting ready for another launch at Nebula. How much thrust do you think Gamma produces?
Uh, I haven't really calculated that. Something that's within our team, so uh, on it, I could ask them, but I really don't know myself.
Okay. How long is that fairing at the top? Like, is it a 3 meter fairing to 5 meter fairing, or is there different variations for every flight depending on the payload?
There are different variations for every flight. We use a regular fairing. We use regular fairing and extended fairing. We have two actually. We have two extended fairing variants. We have the shorter version of the extended fairing. Um, Launch last mission, and this coming mission we're gonna have a regular fairing. I don't remember the sizes myself, but I am pretty immersed in all of the rocket's design. Just don't really do the measurements or anything like that.
All right, and right now you see right behind us. This is just a pad view. Right now, it's not live. This is from a recent time that Gamma rocket launched. As you heard, there's a rollout to that pad within the coming week. Do you have any final landing leg system, or that will be adapted to different vehicles?
Like a final. Can you reiterate that for me? Like a final landing leg system, as in.
Like a final landing leg system for every vehicle that will be coming up to launch.
Oh, so pretty much like
Like
you're
what will
asking
be
about like designs, right?
yeah, will be adapted to different terrains or landing systems or wherever you land your first stage at.
Well, currently the design works well. We have had actually the first launch have the landing legs. Uh, what's the word? They gave out because the vehicle, booster 4, came in too fast, and actually, it was doing its propulsive landing, but the landing legs kind of collapsing on itself. But they're pretty good. It's a pretty good design, and I don't see ourselves really landing on any other terrain besides the pad. Um, if anything, it could miss the pad by by 30 feet, 60 feet. We don't really know. Could be 200 feet because we have had it land in the water before. So, but we are actually seeing some drone ship landings after we get our first successful land landing, which should be. I'm counting on it for booster 8 to actually do our first landing. So, second, sorry.
That's great. Will you guys be testing Gamma in different conditions like weather, where it's either snowing, raining, or just perfectly clear out?
We have actually had some cloudy launches before, but I don't see us launching in snow, or rain. Um, I do, but I definitely uh, cloudy is possible. Clear is definitely what we aim for. So clear days usually, during the summer here on Long Island, we actually see a lot of clear days, like a lot, and it's usually scorching hot, and so it's usually very good weather. Out here, but we don't really see ourselves launching in snow or anything like that.
How many staff are at Gamma, or how many staff at Gamma are there, or Nebula? Sorry.
I don't really know myself. Although what I can say about my staff team, if anyone is watching from my staff team, you guys doing an amazing job. I'm very proud of you all, and we're definitely gonna be hiring soon some more people to help us out.
All right. And what departments in Ghana do you have for like mission control, ground support, etc.?
What departments do we have for Nebula? Well, I'm actually starts pretty simple. We have our ground crew department, astronaut office. We have, let's see, mission control, obviously. Uh, Blanking. Uh, I guess I'll leave it there. I'm not really well immersed in that either. So we have other staff which really are immersed in that, and that's what they are specialized in. But I'm mostly about managing this company, and I do know a lot about it, although.
All right. And just for the people that are watching online right now, you will be able to ask Sorbonical any questions on Nebula. You will get premiered on the screen, hopefully. But here's our final question before we move on to public questions. How do you feel being a growing group in the aerospace community?
Hold on, let me just. All right, sorry. How do I feel being a growing group in the aerospace community? Myself, uh, I would say I feel very proud of what the group is becoming so far. Although uh, there are some times where reputation can go down, and I understand that. And uh, we are doing our absolute best. We're giving it our all to try and do better and become a much better group and community for everyone. And being a growing group is definitely something I've been thinking about for a while, and it's very great to have achieved this. And already, we're on track for quite a lot of fun and quite a few members, and you know, being a growing group, it's just great. And I'm very happy to call myself the CEO and founder of this company, and I am very proud of all of my staff who have been working with us.
All right. And that basically concludes it from our questions here at Space Watchers. We will move on to now public questions. On your screen shortly from QOA ROBLOX, pardon if I or made that name announcement incorrect. He asked, "How do you see Nebula in a few months? Any new changes or new spacecraft or rockets?"
In a few months, hello QV, by the way. Um, in a few months, I do see a lot more launches, Gamma being a lot more reliable. I see Beta. Um, Beta will be wrapping up its testing phase. We'll have Alpha probably doing its first launch, commercial launch actually. Um, I think we'll be seeing some partnerships in the future. I don't know about spacecraft, except for Crew Aurora, which is our capsule. We'll be seeing the first launch of that in a month, I think. I'm kind of blanking on that too. But I do see Nebula growing and becoming a much more firm company. And not going to count on it to do it by itself. So definitely, we're all going to be working very hard at a goal, and I do see Nebula growing quite a bit.
All right, that's perfect for growing space community, as you just heard right there. Any more questions coming in right now? I think there's one more coming in. Remember, you can put your questions in the chat right now, and you can also join Space Watchers Discord for more communications. Also, you can join SpaceX Roblox Discord for more communications there too, and Nebula's Discord. We should be posting those in the chat at the end of the stream. Right now, we got a new question from Isaac the Suede. What do you plan to do with your rockets in the future?
With our rockets in the future, what do we plan to do? Um, I think I mentioned this. I think I did mention this. Planning, what we plan to do with our rockets in the future. Gamma, we do plan to try and make it more powerful, at least the Titan boosters, because human rated boosters, um we're definitely not gonna be increasing the power on that, although we probably will start transitioning to a new type of booster. I do plan to have some more reuse. Um Beta will start doing its own missions. We'll have some reusable second stages actually going on there. Um, I don't know. I'm not. We don't really have a plan as to a lot as to what we're going to be doing. We do know the capabilities, and we're still figuring out. Figuring out the kinks to that. So Gamma, we do see quite a bit into the future for it so far with the crew program and some more payload launches, which are getting to be pretty freaking exciting. We do have some weird space race going on inside of our own community where people are spam buying payloads and just it's all pretty crazy. So we do have some dramatic stuff that will be happening with our rockets in the future, and stay tuned. We do have actually our social team, which is actually watching our launch site transform and new rockets that are rolling out and changes. So if you guys want to stay tuned, actually go to that account. I think it's called Nebula Insiders. Nebula Insider or something called like that. Sorry, and that is very to me key if you want to see some updates because I'm not going to be posting every update that that we plan for.
All right. We got one more question coming in here from QO Roblox. Uh, any new launch sites coming to the Nebula group?
Yes. Actually, QV is I'm not sure if he's still doing it, but he's in the making of Wallops, which we are going to be doing for um LC2 um for Alpha. Uh Another launch site. I don't exactly think we will be doing another launch site, giving another launch buying, sorry, acquiring another launch site for Gamma or anything like that for a little bit of time, although LC2 is not LC2, LC1B, I'm pretty sure is coming into mind where we do have another launch site located actually a lot more south for Gamma where we do have we don't need to wait for another rocket to launch, but you know, things are we're not exactly into planning that much right now.
All right, and we got a new question coming in too. From Asphalt Spectre. How many rockets do you currently have?
Uh in classes of rockets at least, we have 3 designs, although um if you want to go with current rockets that are built right now, we have almost 1 rocket, which is going to be launching soon, Gamma. But we have 3 actual rockets, Alpha, Beta, and Gamma. Gamma being the first one, Beta being the second one, Alpha being the third. Although the order can actually change between Alpha and Beta because Beta is a lot more of an extreme of a project than Alpha. So
It's great. All the rockets basically being named after Roman alphabet or whatever they call that alphabet. Uh,
actually, sorry for interrupting. Speaking of which, I find this very comedic and funny. Um, So I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive the space community is well versed in the Firefly, right? So this is actually kind of a funny story. We were naming Gamma and Alpha and Beta, and in naming it, we actually had no idea Firefly was even a thing. Um, and funny enough. they have the same exact named rockets. It's very funny, and actually, I do persuade people to, actually, if someone wants to make a Firefly Aerospace, that'd be pretty awesome. I don't know where I'm going with this, but just a funny story. Sorry for interrupting.
That's fine. We have just a couple more questions privately that we've got. Um, we've got from Cobra right now. Where do you see Nebula next year?
Next year, I see Nebula. Um, we're actually fully booked on missions right now. Although, if anyone wants to book a mission, they're going to be placed on hold. Which we do have actually a hold chart right now going on. We have like 32 missions on order ourselves. I see Nebula being bigger. Um, Finally launching out of Wallops. Beta probably being a little launch, and Gamma being a very routine rocket to the point where it's boring. Um, so I do see I see members, I see, bigger staff team, a lot more organized than we are now. Although we are organized, I do see a lot more organization and reliance on just one person or few people at once.
All right, and possibly our final question of the day from Cobra again. Are there any future partnerships with other aerospace groups to progress in airspace?
You know of any planned future partnerships? Although, to my knowledge right now, we are partnered with Astra, Astra Virtual, which is owned by Willow Dog 12. That's a pretty good partnership. I don't know what we're gonna be doing with it for a while, but we are planning. We probably will be planning on doing something in the future. Um, to progress in rare space. Uh, I don't know. Um, you know, owning a rare space company, I don't see partnerships as getting us members. I don't really want to, grab members just from partnering with people and relying on other space groups to just discover us. I'd rather, people be, um, I'd rather people, see who we are and enjoy us and join us and, build up a team. So,
All right, and it looks like we have one more question coming in right now. Uh, right now, this question is probably going to be our last question publicly. We don't know yet. Have you named your rocket engines for Gamma or any other vehicles?
yes, we have. We actually had a we actually public static fire, but it was on Twitch, unfortunately, which we actually abandoned that platform because we found YouTube much more useful. Um, we have Gamma's engines, which are named E1, and Beta's engines and Alpha's engines are both named E2 accordingly.
Okay, so yeah, do we have any more questions coming in? I don't think we have any more right now, publicly and privately. So basically, this is most likely going to bring our webcast, or not our webcast, our question stream to an end. Make sure you can join those communications for SpaceX, Roblox, Space Watchers, and Nebula. Both groups will be or all of the groups will be advertised in that chat right now. We will most likely, yeah, we will see you tomorrow, as I just confirmed right now, for SN 7.2 testing at the Boca Chica development site there. And yeah, we'll see you there probably around 2 o'clock tomorrow. 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. EST is the window for that, and we will stream here on Space Watchers YouTube. Make sure you join those communications that were just sent in the chat, and you all have a great day.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming on here. And thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Space Watchers.